What's up, you guys? This is my Tactical Sport Orange TSO, and I'm going to do a lot of things to this TSO to make it just more of a beast. So one of the goals I have is to make this thing heavier, and another goal I have is to actually make this trigger heavier so it matches my 19 and 2011s. And also going to turn it to a open pistol, so it's going to have two slides, one the stock TSO slide, and another one's going to be ported and made for open shooting. So I'm going to mount a slide ride mount on here and a bigger gas pedal. So let's see how much this thing weighs, and we'll do a before and after with the weight and a before and after the trigger pull. So the weight without a magazine is 44 ounces. With a magazine, it's about 47, 48. And let's get the trigger pull. 1.48 pounds, 1.64 pounds, 1.48 pounds. So we have about 1.5 pound trigger, and that's really light for me. I know it's great for a lot of shooters, but I prefer 2.5 to 3 pound trigger. So that's going to be the goal. All right, here's some of the things I'm going to do with this build. So I have a checkmate mount, and it has a slide ride already on there with a 16 MOA, so a nice big fat red dot. I'm going to make a bigger gas pedal on there, put a bigger gas pedal. This is the IPSC Alex Thumbrest. I have an extended barrel. So as you can see, this is a tactical sport barrel, except it's extended at the muzzle 1.5 inches. And we're going to put a clamp-on compensator on that. We're going to make it heavier, so I have Lok Brass Grips, brass magazine button, and magwell. So we're making it heavier by doing that. We're also going to make it heavier by putting Cajun Gunworks manual safety hammer. So that should increase the trigger pull as well. And we're going to put one of these, which is really difficult to install. It's a CZ custom heavy trigger return spring. So to give a more positive reset. We're also going to put a Tanfo Sear spring on there, which is heavier for the Sear. So it's going to give it a little more crisp reset and trigger pull. And then we're going to offset all of that by putting a Cajun Gunworks ultralight. So it's going to actually have a lighter hammer spring and extended firing pin. And yeah, that's about it. And there's going to be another upper that's solely made for open, but this one's going to be the limited one. All right, before I put it all together, I want to show you guys some of the things I've done. So that's the Cajun Gunworks 13-pound hammer spring. So that's going to make the hammer action a lot lighter. Also, you can't tell, but the hammer strut, I polished that with some sandpaper, and that should make the action a lot smoother. That's a Cajun Gunworks manual safety competition hammer. Now, the hooks are different than the single action tactical sport hammer, and it should make the pull a little bit heavier. I took apart the Sear and polished the bottom of the Sear, and you can't see it, or maybe you can. That's a Tanfo Sear spring. That should also make the reset stronger and the trigger pull a little heavier. And this is the one that was really difficult, but see if you can look inside that trigger bar area. There's two Sear springs. One is the regular CZ75 trigger return spring, and the other one is the tactical sport. So there's actually two trigger springs. There you go. Now you can see it. And got the Cajun, or the CZ custom extended thumb safety paddle, and I'm about to put the rest of it together, so stay tuned. All right, so let's see if this thing got heavier and how much heavier. It's 44 ounces before. Now we got 53.72, so almost a 10-ounce increase, turning this to a tactical sport brass. So I got the Lok Brass Grips, brass magwell. Got the extended barrel on there. Something else I did that I didn't point out, I put a really wide gas pedal, and to do that I had to put plastic washer, but now it's tight and it's just a really nice, get a really nice grip on this thing. It's great. The trigger was 1.5 pounds before. Let's see what we got now. 2.22 pounds. 2.22 pounds again. 2.06 pounds. So I'm seeing about a pound, a half pound to a pound increase, 2.06 pounds. Really would like it to be 2.5 pounds. I'm wondering, they're at a 2.22. So it looks about 2.25 pound. I bet maybe with a heavier hammer spring, because I put a 13 pound hammer spring in there. Maybe if I up it to 17, there's 2.5. So I'm pretty happy with the trigger. I mean, it has a nice return, right? Because I put 2 trigger return springs. The Cajun Gunworks hammer makes it a little bit heavier, and reset is just so crisp, and that wall, yeah. So I'm probably going to change the trigger and then work on the open option next.